Hi Internet, I'm John Appleseed. Welcome to my YouTube channel where we do a crossword puzzle every day, sometimes other puzzles or games, as is the case today. We're going to do a week's worth of connections, a category matching game from the New York Times. I'm in the New York Times Games archive, and all of these gray squares are connections puzzles I haven't done yet. And you can see in the last 2 weeks I have 3 hollow squares, which are puzzles that I was unable to successfully complete. I used up all my guesses and still didn't have the categories match, so that's a little unusual for me. So I don't know if the puzzles have been more difficult or I've just been kind of stressed out lately and didn't concentrate as much as I usually might. But let's hope things go better today. So we're going to do Sunday the 14th through Saturday the 20th. I'm recording this on Saturday the 20th, so let's see how it goes. Wyna Liu creates the daily connections puzzle on the New York Times. I really enjoy it. The way it works is we have 16 words or sometimes short phrases, and we need to find connections between them that help us sort them into 4 groups of 4 words each. So we're going to have 4 categories with some kind of connection within each category. The categories aren't connected to each other, just the words within the category. Okay, so today our words are main, scale, door, key, top, compass, wall, gate, best, fleet, beat, inset, portal, better, downing, and hatch. So my first thought was things that might be on a map, like key and compass, and then I saw inset. What else would you have on a map? Oh, a scale. Yes, a scale of distance. So there we go. Map features, that works. What about top? Top can mean to best someone, or you're better at something than them, or you beat them at something. I think that works. There we go. Main makes me think of Main Street, and I see Fleet Street, Wall Street, and Downing Street as other well-known streets. Let's try that. That's purple. Okay, and then portal, gate, door, and hatch are just ways to enter and leave a place. Entryway, there we go. Okay. So we did well on that one. I want to go back to the stats page. No, not that far back. Okay, let's do the 15th. Scroll down past the ad and get into the puzzle. And for the 15th, our words are connection, banshee, carpet, strand, pip, chemistry, bank, tile, heartbreaker, wood, spark, coast, laminate or laminate, shore, whaler, and fireworks. I see 4 New York Times puzzle games in here: connections, pips, strands, and tile, but I think that may be a distractor. That would be a little bit too on the nose even for Wyna Liu. So let's try something else. Banshee, something that wails. A whaler. Banshee is like a spirit, kind of a ghost. There was a band called Susie and the Banshees. There was another Joan Jett and the Heartbreakers, maybe, or am I thinking of a different something else? And then Gladys Knight and the Pips. I'd be confident about this if I saw one more. The Wailers. Who were there? Is there a group called the Wailers? Kind of rings a bell, but I'm not quite sure. Let me come back to that one. Let's look at carpet. Carpet and tile and wood can be floor coverings, laminate. Okay, let's try that. Yes. Then chemistry can be a connection with someone or a spark, or you feel fireworks. Okay, words for emotional chemistry or romantic chemistry, romantic vibe. The strand is a word for a seashore, a beach. So strand, shore, bank, and coast are words for beach, beachy area. Okay, so I think this is Joan Jett and the Heartbreakers. I may be getting the names wrong. Susie and the Banshees, Josie and the Wailers? I'm not sure. And Gladys Knight and the Pips. Let's try that. Member of a classical backing band. Okay, I'll have to look up the Wailers later. Okay, let's go back, and this will be Tuesday, the 16th of September. We didn't have any incorrect guesses so far, so that's good. Our words for today are Roger, pen, rose, month, squid, printer, donut, monitor, juror, watch, tattoo machine, tricks, follow, white, velveteen, and track. So I see some things that might contain ink. A pen, a squid, a printer was one, a tattoo machine. I see some rabbits on here as well. I think that's another category. Okay, I think this works for things that contain ink. Yes. Then Roger Rabbit, the Velveteen Rabbit, the Tricks Rabbit, the White Rabbit from Alice in Wonderland. Okay, let's try that. Yes. A juror. Someone who is on a jury. Somebody who takes an oath. Not sure about that. Watch and monitor and track and follow. I like for synonyms of each other to keep an eye on, keep tabs on. And then juror, donut, month, and rose. I think these are, we already have a things with, so maybe it's not that. It's maybe something like if we change a letter on these, we get something else. I may not get this one. They all have an O in them. I don't think that's what it is. We have dawn here. We have mon or moth. If we take out the N, we get moth. Rose are these homophones of something. Okay, I give up on this one. I don't know how these are connected, so this one will be incorrect. Or we don't have any incorrect guesses, but one in a dozen. Oh, things that come in a dozen. Okay, yeah, that was clever. Look at that again. A dozen donuts, usually a dozen jurors, a dozen months in a year, and a dozen roses. Okay, yeah, probably might have gotten that one with more time, so I feel a little silly for not getting that. But that one was incorrect. Let's try the 17th. You can see we still got the star because the software didn't know that we didn't know the category because we'd had the other three correct. All right, our words today are pinwheel, rainbow, stuff, backpedal, shoehorn, flag, neighborhood, street, wedge, flip-flop, vein, jam, about face, wind chime, kangaroo, and renege. I see some shoes, a wedge, and a flip-flop. Jams shoes? I'm not sure about that. Okay, pinwheel. Are these things you might have in your yard or on your front porch? A weather vane, a flag, a wind chime? Yeah, like that. Things you might have on a house decoration of some kind. They're blowing in the wind. Okay, I'm going to give myself credit for that. I was kind of off track, but that's where you might find those things. But they all are affected by the wind. Now, what else? Shoehorn is to wedge something into a tight space. To shoehorn it, to wedge it, to stuff it, to jam it. Let's try that. Then I see flip-flop, backpedal, about face, and renege, all words for going back on your word or your initial position, change one's tune. Then rainbow, neighborhood, kangaroo, and street. These are children's TV shows. Reading Rainbow, Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood, Captain Kangaroo, and Sesame Street. I think that's what those are. I hope that's right. Yes? Okay. All right, so we're doing okay so far. I think the 16th, we didn't know the last category, but we didn't have any incorrect guesses. So now the 18th, our words for the 18th are NASA, ready, willing, able, Noah, outfit, NFL, game, down, Kane, prepare, paramount, Eve, Subaru, eager, and equip. Nothing's jumping out really other than equip and outfit can be synonyms. To ready somebody is to prepare them or outfit them or equip them for some kind of task. Let's try these as synonyms. We have two government agencies, NOAA and NASA. Not sure about that. NFL. Does NFL have something to do with Paramount? It's like a studio, or I don't know, what about game? If you're game, you're willing or eager or down with doing something. You're willing to do something, into it. There we go. Okay, what about cane? Sugar cane? Hurricane? Cane is a support for walking. Not sure about that. Paramount. I was thinking Paramount has a mountain in their logo, Paramount Studios. Subaru has a constellation, I think. There are stars around the mountain, though. NFL has stars in their logo. I'm sure NASA does. NOAA might, though. But Noah, Eve, Cain, and Abel are all homophones for characters from the Bible. Okay, so these ones I have highlighted are logos that have stars, I think, fingers crossed. Yes, and then Eve, Noah, Cain, and Abel, all actually from the book of Genesis, specifically. Okay. There we go. All right, so that one was perfect. We're doing okay so far, but we've got two more to go. September the 19th, this is Friday, second to the last. And our words are tiger, nose, mascara, pace, rate, blush, dye, clip, sweat, towel, score, trail, rank, fidget, stockings, and grade. Okay, blush and mascara are types of makeup. Stockings might be something you might wear when you're dressing up, but I'm not sure. Okay, what about tiger? Tiger has stripes. Tony the Tiger. Tiger is the Detroit baseball team. All right, nothing else seems to fit there. What about nose? Nose and blush and grade could be terms from wine. I'm not sure about that. Mascara? Blush is the only thing I can think of for that. What about pace? Pace and rate and clip can be synonyms for measuring speed. Not sure about that. I also like rate and score and grade and rank to assign value to something. Let's try that. Okay. Oh, pace could be to walk back and forth nervously, like fidget. If this is nervous activity, you might sweat when you're nervous. Would you blush when you're nervous? When you're embarrassed? I kind of like sweat, fidget, and pace. I'm not sure about blush, though. Let's think about something else. And I'm going to shuffle them so that I can look at them fresh. Okay, dye and mascara, things that can run when they get wet. Would blush do that? What about towel? We have pace running and trail running. Fidget. I like fidget and pace going together. I'm not sure about what else would go there. Towel, I just don't know what it is. What about clip? Nose. Nope, mascara. Mascara, blush, and dye your hair, maybe. Stockings, silk stockings. Things that come in pairs. Nope. Okay, all I can think of for tigers is Tony the Tiger or the Detroit Tigers or the animal, tiger. It has stripes as its, prominent feature. I remember that there was a kid's book about running a tiger around a tree until it turned into butter. So, which kind of makes me think of, mascara running. I'm not sure about that. Okay, dye. Dye sounds like dye. Sweat, pace, fidget, and blush. Things you might do when you're nervous. I'm not sure about this one. I was right. Okay. Blush is more embarrassment, but I guess that's kind of like nervousness. Okay, so now we've got our final two categories. Nose job, dye job. Is there a clip job? You blow your nose. Your mascara can run. You can get a run in your stockings. Dye can run or bleed. Is it things that bleed? Nose bleed. Mascara runs. It doesn't bleed. And your nose can run. Things that can run. Yes, I like that. Things that can run, annoyingly. Okay, then tiger, clip, towel, and trail. Is there a phrase that involves all of these? Crouching tiger, hidden dragon, clip, Yankee Clipper, tiger, Detroit Tigers, Yankee Clipper, towel, and trail. Okay, this is what I call purple purgatory. For the second time this week, we've got our final category, but we know that these words go together, but I don't know how they go together. The other one was things that are in a dozen. This contains the word rail, the word lip. Yeah, I'm not seeing this one. Okay, another paper clip, paper tiger, paper towel, and paper trail. Okay, yeah. Right, too bad on that one. So that's two where we had the final category but didn't know what it was. So two less than successful efforts this week so far. Let's see if we get a third one or if we can do this one with no incorrect guesses. Oh, we don't need to know about connection badges. Okay, duck, wing, rocket, star, lark, dip, dodge, senator, ram, dive, fry, ford, chip, scraper, Lincoln, flyer. Dip, dodge, duck, and dive were the five fundamentals of Dodgeball from the film Dodgeball. I think dodge was repeated twice. It was dodge, duck, dip, dive, and dodge, or something like that. I think that's right. Let's try it. If not, it's okay. That's probably just a little inside Easter egg for people who've seen that movie. Okay, foolish of me for falling for it. Okay, what about a lark can be a spree, a fun, go off on a lark. I'm not sure. Wing. What else would duck? Duck is to dodge, to avoid something. It is a bird, like a lark. Yeah, I'm not sure. Wing and dip, and a fry and a chip. Are these like things you might get at bar food is what I'm thinking of. French fries, buffalo wings, chips and salsa, and then dipped to put them in. I don't know. Not sure about that. Okay, rockets and stars. are Texas professional sports, the Houston Rockets and the Dallas Stars, I think the hockey team, the Ottawa Senators. But this is basketball. Or is there a hockey team called the Rockets? Is there a basketball team called the Stars? These are both Texas, would be the thing they have in common. So I'm not sure about that. Okay, what about Lark? No. Got Dip. Not sure. Dodge and Lincoln and Ram as kinds of cars. And Ford. Or, okay, I'm going back to my hockey idea. The Ottawa Senators, I think it's the Dallas Stars, the Philadelphia Flyers, and the Anaheim Ducks. Yes, these are professional hockey teams. There we go. And then we've got, let's try the car thing. Ram, Ford, Lincoln, and Dodge. Turned out to be right. Okay. I was a little bit nervous about that one. A paint scraper, a paint chip. Not sure. Lark. Lark, what does Lark have in common with any of these? Let's try chip, fry, wing, and dip. Those things you might order at a bar. Okay. Then Purple Purgatory again. Scraper, dive, rocket. Rocket ship. What goes with scraper? Skyscraper, skydive, skyrocket, and skylark. Have you anything to say to me? Can you tell me where my love might be? Okay, we got that one in just under the wire. We actually had an incorrect guess on that one, but then we managed to. And I fell for the dodgeball trick of a dodge, dip, duck, dive, and dodge. This is the 5 fundamentals of dodgeball. Okay, so we got complete stars for all the puzzles this week, but I think this one had an incorrect guess, but then we managed to figure it out. And then I think there were 2 where I couldn't figure out the last category, but I didn't use up my guesses as I did on these hollow square occasions. All right, that was a good way to spend a few minutes. Thanks so much for joining me. Please come back for more puzzles and games, and I'll see you next time.